Hello and welcome to Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures. And very often they are celebrities, and normally they're actors, artists, musicians, politicians, royals, lots of different people. But today I'll be analyzing the chart of a very talented man, a very talented comedian and late night talk show host, the great Stephen Colbert, who has just been in the news cycle. He usually talks about the news now. He is the news. The Late Show's cancelled. It's going to be off air as of May next year. This is, I think, quite sad because it's like the end of, the golden age of the late night talk show. He's been so consistent on his show, and everybody's speculating why this is happening. And the company CBS has said it's because of financial reasons. Like, I guess late night talk shows have dwindling audience, or like the audiences are getting smaller and smaller by the year as we enter this digital age. But he's not the first one yet acts, he's a very consistent performer. Out of all the talk shows, he gets the most consistent ratings, right? So yeah, this is weird. And there's been suggestions that because he's been very critical of the current Trump administration, he was not a fan of financial dealings, financial mergers between CBS and another company, and that they wanted to control what he said because he has been very critical. So there's just a lot going on. Anyway, I had a look at his chart. This is the screenshot of it from yesterday when I found out that he was basically getting fired and the show was ending. And I realized, it's the end of his Saturn return. Let's talk about it, because I know we talk about the first Saturn return. A majority of my clients are, late 20s to early 30s, and they want to know about their Saturn returns. Is usually when I get a big influx of people coming in who are like, oh my God, help me. But I also get quite a few people who are going through their second Saturn return. So if you are someone that's going through your second Saturn return, I hope this reading for Stephen Colbert is able to help you understand what you're going through right now. Because the themes of your first Saturn return do return in your second Saturn return. That's something that we will be discussing today. Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know I have a class on the 25th of July, depending what time zone you're in. And it will be on the first house, or the ascendant. We'll be looking at planetary aspects to the ascendant, or the signs of the ascendant. So, and of course, I'll be talking about different celebrity case studies to illustrate my points. And it's a 2-hour class. It's a 45-minute presentation, and then 75 minutes of Q&A where you can ask me questions. It's usually, in fact, every time I've done it, it's been so much fun. So I do hope you come and you enjoy it. We've sold quite a few tickets. There's still some left, and the links are below. And yeah, if you're interested in learning about the ascendant, first house, please come along. And I do readings. Oh my gosh, it's Mercury retrograde. I do readings. Oh my, I do readings. Mercury retrograde. They do 15-minute full chart readings, transit readings, synastry readings, and I do 5-minute focus readings for specific areas of your life or your chart, and astrocartography readings. So if you like these ones that I do on here, I can do that for you in an MP3 email, MP3 recording sent to your email. And I do have workbooks. I've been doing a series on the aspects. I've done the square and the trine so far. I've got a few more to go. If you've enjoyed those, please purchase a course or a workbook. I worked really hard on it, and it's a great way to support me. And I do have a YouTube members where I post extra content. So learning content especially. So if that's something that you're interested in, you really like to support me, that's the best way to do it. Thank you so much. All right, shall we talk about the second Saturn return? If you're watching, if this is your second Saturn return, put it in the chat below. How's it doing? What are some of the repeat themes here? Okay, let me know. All right, so I don't have a birth time for Stephen Colbert, okay? And if we can get a birth time, I will happily amend the chart. I'm going to do the best that I can to read the aspects and try to understand what's going on. All right, so based on based on the information we have, he is a Sun and Mars and Mercury and Jupiter all in Taurus. That's why he's so stable. A moon in Gemini. That's why he's so cheeky and intellectual. And then he's got this lovely Venus in Cancer with the North Node. It's a good Venus. Ooh, especially with the cheekiness here. Really nice Venus. He's very solid. And then he's got that Saturn, a really well aspected Saturn. He is doing very well. He did very well in his previous Saturn return in the mid-90s, and he's doing really, really well now. Look at that. I know there's an opposition with generational planets with Pluto and Uranus, whatevs. But look how nicely he deals with the chaos. Even the Venus. The Venus is like, because there's a harsh opposition between Saturn and then Pluto and Uranus conjunction in Virgo. That's a really chaotic kind of energy. But look how his Venus handles it. He's got strength in his heart, literally, because that's what Venus is. He does really, really well in really crappy situations that he has no control over. He's going to do fine. This was a big, bloody mistake. I think he's going to do great. I think, and I don't want to call this a prediction, but this is what I reckon is going to happen based on what I'm seeing here. They're going to cancel the show in the run-up to the last episode. I think he's going to get more mouthy. He's going to get more critical. And you're going to see audience numbers go up and up, because when people know that the restaurant is closing, people will start attending. People are going to tune in to see what he has to say, and he's going to make the most of every bloody moment he has left on that show. Because he's the type of person, he wants to change the world with his good heart. Like, that's North Node with Venus. Yes, you got a North Node with your Venus, you're going to make the money. But you're also going to lead with your heart and follow your moral compass. And he's going to do that even if it upsets people. Jupiter's moving over this. The sun's moving over this right now. It's gonna be good. This is gonna be so good for him. Not for the program, not for CBS though. Now, Saturn's at an early degree. He's finishing up his Saturn return. So by the time May hits, Saturn will be fully like in Aries full time after that. But it's gonna swing back in here pretty soon. I think September. That's going to be an interesting. We'll come back in September-ish, between September and February, and see what happens, because there's going to be some viral moments. He's going to make a very loud. It's going to be a long exit. It's going to be a long exit. Now, Saturn trine Venus. So that's going to be really good for money. He's getting the golden handshake. And then he's got the North Node moving over Saturn. So even though this is pretty painful, actually, North Node moving over Saturn, it's not the worst. It's okay. It just means it's getting more disciplined, being more intentional. If you've got the North Node moving over your Saturn, it's just like, just be more disciplined, be more intentional, be careful. No, I think he's going to be careful with what he says, but not in terms of having to worry about people standing on his toes. I think he's going to be intentional in that he wants to upset some people. So he's going to want to upset the higher ups. South Node and Mars moving through Pluto and Uranus. Whatever house this lies in is where there is chaos. Because Uranus and Pluto are the authorities that govern you. The South Node's moving through here. Mars is moving through here. He's at war with the authorities. What house is this in? This is like an infection in the chart. Like, this is like a kaboom, you know. And then the South Node is like, the Mars is lighting the match. You ever see that movie Waiting to Exhale, right? And she's got the car of her ex-boyfriend and all his stuff is in the car, and then she drops the match and she lights it on fire and she walks away. That the Mars transit over the Pluto and the Uranus is her dropping the match. And then the South Node moving through is her walking away from it, because it's the thing you have to release and the thing you have to let go. And in that moment, she let go of her boyfriend. That's my analogy, Waiting to Exhale. This right here, this chaos right here. I would love to know what house this is in. Okay, but yeah. And he's just going to be like, I'm going to get paid anyway. Either way, I got to be here every night. What are they going to do? Okay, so all of this Taurus, 22 degrees. That's why I think he for himself is a very stable man. Like, he's very traditional as well, which is funny because he's He really just doesn't give a poo. He doesn't give a poo. He's a Taurus. Tauruses don't care. He gives me good husband energy. I also have a Jupiter in Taurus, and I'm just, every time I look at him, I'm just like, I hope I marry a good man like you. He's great. The sun at 22 degrees. People think he's really weak, like he's a pipsqueak. I really do think that because he's nice. He's nice. He's kind. Especially when he was younger, people thought he was some weak pipsqueak kind of person. He's not. Not at all. And that's the thing with the 22 degree anything in your chart. People think you're weak and you're not. And then they put you in a situation where you've got to turn into a monster. And now he's been put into a situation where he's about to turn into a monster, and it's going to make really, really good late night TV viewing. So everybody tune in. Everybody tune in. He's going to have a lot to say. Mars, Mercury, yeah, he runs his mouth. If you got Mercury and Mars in a conjunction, your words are your weapons. Jupiter expands this. He's got a whole bazooka here. A bazooka of sharp words. Ah! I want to know what house this is in. He's Catholic. He probably really just doesn't like astrology. He probably doesn't mess with it because he's super, super Catholic. You know what they're like, but we still love him. Give us your birth time though. Venus moving over his moon right now. He's getting a lot of love from home. I feel like he was like, I have nothing to lose. He's a millionaire. He's a good person. He's followed his moral compass, and he's been basically fired for following his moral compass. This is a very happy ending. This is how you want to get fired. When you're on top of the world, everybody loves you. It's great. Venus in Cancer, he's a marrying man. A lot of Taurus, a lot of Cancer. I hope he's as good to his wife as he makes out to be, and how, like, I haven't heard anything bad about him in regards to his wife. He seems to be very, very faithful to her, and I hope that is not an illusion. I hope it is true, and I have a feeling that it is. His Venus is really well aspected. He's got a lot of support. Saturn trine Venus. When did he have a kid? In the 90s? I do know that in the 90s. Okay, let's talk about it, because the themes of your Saturn return, they repeat in the second Saturn return. Okay. So in the mid-90s, he was working, he was hustling, he was getting hired, and he was getting fired. Okay, he didn't really have consistent work. And eventually after the Saturn return, he got in a few years later on the Jon Stewart Daily Show, right? A few years later. But what's happening now is he's climbed to the top of the ranks, and now he's being put in a position where he can afford this time. He can afford to be he can afford to have what's the word? Unstable employment, right? He's almost at retirement. He's a few years away from a typical retirement age. He's 61, and usually people that retire are like, 65, 66, something like that. So he's a few years away from it. He's got really nothing left to lose. He can walk away from this with his morals intact, his moral compass intact. And this is a really nice second Saturn return for him, because the first one was very chaotic. He was just getting his foot in the door, and he was like climbing the mountain, and now 30 years later he's at the top of the mountain, and he can afford to climb down. You know, he's gonna do okay. And actually, after this, I do see him having a podcast where he gets to talk more. He gets to be more earnest in his opinions, and he doesn't have to be on show. He can sit in his jammies and have a microphone next to him with a cup of tea and talk some realness. I think he's going to be fine, and I think that the run up to the last show is going to make those television executives scared. What are they going to do without him? People adore him. He's going to be fine. CBS, idiots. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'd really, really like to know where these things are. Neptune opposite the sun. I'm going to do an opposition video really soon, because there's tension here. If you have Neptune opposite the sun, yeah, there's going to be a fight between, that's like institution. I'm wondering if he's ever had like a situation where his Catholic faith and his work as was essentially a creative and artist are in conflict with each other. He's very, very religious. So, yeah. And I don't know what houses these are in. Because whatever's here is quite traumatic. And whatever is here is not in alignment at all with this sparkly, shiny, funny, entertainer personality. It's just not. There's a standoff here. I'm wondering if there's also, he's dealt with over the years some kind of shame around it a little bit. Because he's so good at what he does, but he's also part of a rigid religion that likes to, and I grew up Catholic. I grew up very, very Catholic. They don't like you to be, this is what my experiences as being a Catholic for many, many years. They don't like you to get too big for your britches, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I would love to know his birth time so I could figure out what this tension is. Anyway, yeah, he's got a great chart. Even like Pluto, Uranus trine, these placements, even if he's dealing with tyrannical big institution, it makes him better. It makes him stronger. It makes him funnier. It makes him wittier. He's a survivor. Really, really nice trines. If you have Uranus in a trine with personal placements, it makes you brilliant. Especially if it's in a trine with Mercury, like incredibly witty, very fast, like you think on your feet. Pluto, which is a very destructive planet, if that's in a trine with your placements, and this speaks to him being a he does political commentary essentially. He does it on stage, but when it goes down, he's great. He's really good. He's really good in chaos. Two chaotic planets. Two destructive, chaotic planets, tyrannical planets, which represents the environment, right? In a really nice aspect to his Mercury, to his Mars. You're going to do well in chaos. And because it's an Earth trine, you make money from the chaos. You make money from your wits. You make money from being clever in the chaos. That's what a grand Earth trine with these chaotic planets means. And Saturn, sextile these as well. He's disciplined. He's consistent. He's consistent in the chaos, which makes him all this money. He's going to be fine. CBS is stupid. They're going to regret it so much because he can't be replaced. It's even incredible that I actually think he is a better host than David Letterman, because David Letterman didn't very often didn't respect the people that he sat down with. Stephen Colbert would never be rude to someone like Paris Hilton or Lindsay Lohan, or you know what I mean? Like, he's a very kind person. So kudos to him. Anyway, if we ever have a birth time, I will come back in and I will amend this and I'll be able to read it a bit more accurately. Houses are nice to know. So I can tell you about these oppositions because it's kind of nuts. He's got nutty oppositions. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on July 25th for the class. And yeah, love you. See you in the next video. Bye.